And the topic that we got today is standalone houses are better than the apartments. And I and Riza will be supporting the ideology, and Ayush is against the ideology. So we are taking 2 minutes to ideate on the topic, and we'll be right back. Are we good?
Yeah.
Uh, Riza, you need more time? Riza, you are mute. We can't hear you.
We can start. Sorry.
Yeah. So we are favoring, right? Riza, start. Go ahead. Start.
Okay, so today I'll be speaking on why standalone houses are better than apartments. Okay, firstly, because there is ample of space for children to play, and another reason is standalone houses are mostly in villages and apartments are mostly in like urban areas. So children can play with their neighbors also, if like in their compound say. Another reason is second reason is, if you have a garden or if you have an interest in gardening, you can do that. If you have like a standalone house, you can't do that in an apartment. You can, but not on a large scale. You can maybe just grow a few plants in a pot or something, but you can't have a garden. Another point I would like to state is, if you have an interest in say any instrument like violin, you can't just play it in an apartment. Whereas if you have a standalone house, your parents and your family, they can bear with you playing the violin. And but when you are with people in an apartment, it's very difficult, as if they have older parents, then it might be a bit annoying to them. Also, you can play loud music whenever and wherever you want, unlike when you are in an apartment. Another point is you have your own space, private space. Like, you don't really have to involve a lot of people. Say you have a celebration, you don't have to call your neighbors. You can have it with your family and friends. Okay. Um, Next point is, in when you're living in an apartment, you have to pay something called as maintenance tax, for things you can do on your own, like watering your plants. Whereas when you're in a standalone house, when you have a house of your own, you don't really have to pay someone to do those things for you. Next point is, say you live alone, like you don't really have a family. Then you want a pet dog or a pet cat, like you want a pet, but you don't have that option always available to you when you live in an apartment. But when you have your own house, you can have a pet dog or a pet cat, and you can the cat can move around or the dog can move around, unlike when they are in an apartment. Next point is, apartments are cheaper when they are on a higher altitude. Like, the higher apartments are cheaper compared to the lower ones. So, like, people tend to buy those. And in your old age, it's very difficult to climb the stairs. Whereas when you have your own house, you can. It's normally a ground floor or like two floors, whereas an apartment can have many floors, right? So it is difficult for older people to climb stairs. And so yeah, these are my points on why standalone houses are better than apartments. Over to you, Kemal.
Yes. Lovely, Riza. Like, just to add on to, yes, as Riza mentioned, like, apartments are mostly into cities, and you don't get the gist of the village life. To add more points to that, to whatever Riza has said, one thing I feel is you can modify standalone house as in when you need. If you want some other, like, if you want to have another balcony, or if you want to have another floor, you can do it in the standalone house, but you cannot really do it in the um apartments. Then next door neighbor, like, you don't have to worry about the next door neighbor when you have standalone houses. Like, if you have to organize any party, or if you have to do anything, like, you will have to make sure that you do not create a lot of noise which can disturb the other neighbors. So yeah, in a standalone apartment, it is your right, you can do anything whatever you want. uh, Third thing I would say, like, okay, sometimes the bills are unfairly, like, Ayush may mention about certain things, like some subscription like gym and all in the apartments. But sometimes when you don't avail them, you simply pay them. For example, if you're even going maybe out of this town, and but you'll still have to pay the water bills, like the division. So yeah, in that manner also, some paying of the some fares will be unjust. And yeah, that is also one of my reason. uh, uh, and my another reason could be would be that you have you are you can do gardening, and like having a small farm, or you can like do composting, which is direct connect to the ground. And you don't really have to be dependent on basis and all. Like you can uh, plant the tree directly into the soil, which can again help in the groundwater level. And thus, I totally support by I totally believe that standalone houses are better than apartments. Yeah, over to Ayush.
So I'll be supporting apartments over standalone houses. So in a country like India, where the population is increasing at an unprecedented rate, we have to realize that our land resources are limited, and everyone cannot have a standalone houses because it is technically not possible for all the everyone to have a standalone houses. I believe there are various advantages of having an apartment instead of a standalone houses. First, we have to realize that many people relocate from their village to cities for job opportunities or more any opportunities for that matter. And so there are mainly three advantages which I think are very important. First is like you are not limited to only your four neighbors that are surrounding to your houses. You can talk to anyone from your apartment, from any floor, or maybe in the neighboring building, and you can always find friends of someone who is your age, which is not always possible in case of an standalone houses. And uh, your neighbors are all very close to you, and you can go to their houses anytime. You don't really have to need a vehicle or anything to go at their places. And in the apartments or in a societal environment, there are usually many clubs which you can avail, like as Kevin mentioned earlier, like gyms, swimming pool, or any like community based area which people can come together and spend some quality time. Also, you usually get you do pay the maintenance charges, but you usually get it at the cheaper price. In case of a like a commercial gym, you will get it at a much better price, and usually it's less crowded compared to the commercial gyms. And lastly, it's much cost effective compared to owning a standalone houses. And there are most of the time there are legal issues that can arise if you are want to like build a standalone houses. And like apartments are usually more legalized and can be you can easily get it.
uh, yes. Rebuttal phase. Go ahead, Ayush.
Yeah, as I mentioned, like I understand that you do pay the maintenance charges as you mentioned, but it's usually cheaper and you get a lot of facilities instead of just buying everything individually. So what do you want to say about it?
uh, so maybe like as you have mentioned about gym, maybe the gym is also not well maintained. I might be liking some other gym or other like I would like to have some other better options. So when I don't think that is the only reason to choose apartment, right?
Okay, but
Also, sometimes,
go ahead.
to add to whatever Keman has to say, sometimes these apartments they have a swimming pool, and not everyone wants to swim like in an apartment, so they have to additionally like they are charged for that as well. So I think those charges are for people, even if they don't want to do it, they have to do it.
Yeah, but even if you don't want to do one particular activity, there are mostly in a societal environment can have multiple events that are going on. There are many community events which not everyone wants, but at least some part will want it. And with the like when you charge them the maintenance amount, they can conduct various events and not just limited to like maybe just swimming pool or gym. Yeah, that's my counter. Uh, yeah.
The other question I have is, in a standalone house, you have the full control of whatever you want to do. Like you can do anything to the property as a owner. but that is not really possible. That ownership is not really there in the apartment, right? So how do you have to count that?
Yes, there you don't really get the full ownership because it's a shared area after all. Uh, but we are also have to consider the cost of having a standalone apartment and the cost we are paying for a standalone houses for an apartment. And I think it's a good trade-off because you get an apartment for usually a lower price compared to a standalone.
Triza, you have to
Okay,
share.
Ayush, you spoke about joint families in standalone houses, like joint families in what was it? The population is increasing, so uh, like everyone can't have a standalone house. But the space in a standalone house is comparatively bigger than an apartment, right?
Yeah.
Like so, and even in Goa, we've seen that most of the joint families they live in standalone houses rather than apartments. Apartments are more for people having like a nuclear family, or it's just one family in an apartment. So what do you have to say about that? Isn't that like a plus point on the other side, other end? Like joint families in one home is like you have more people in in that house, particular house. So
uh, Again, this depends from person to person, but if you have any like most of the scenarios nowadays people are preferring nuclear family instead of a joint family, but there are many tensions that happen between a joint family, and like nowadays people prefer to have a apartment instead of joint family. And also even if you have a standalone house or a joint family, most of the time people stay like in the different rooms that they are like most of the time separated and they are on their own. Even if there are like two floors in a joint family, they are usually like separated even though they live in the same house.
also, I stated about the pet dog being like you can have a pet dog in a standalone house, but when it comes to an apartment, you can't really do that, right?
Yes, it is definitely difficult to have a pet in an apartment or flat because they're not really happy. But uh, it's I agree that having a pet is very difficult in like apartments. I don't really have any point for this.
Any question? Shall we go ahead?
Yeah.
Feedback part. I okay. One thing is very good. I really liked your rebuttal phase today. Like you were very
The
uh,
questions were good.
you had good questions. Your questions were good. Like you asked about the joint family. That thing I really liked that. And pet, you stuck with that. That was also very good. And w- so, some we both did not have any intro. Even
I
I used to
didn't.
not have any.
I couldn't really think of an introduction for this topic.
Same. Neither do I. Uh, Even I wasn't able to do that. You use one word called as altitude somewhere. I did not really understand what did you mean by altitude there. Did you mean the
Overall level.
floors of the apartment?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Are the higher
Uh,
apartments cheaper?
Speaking about,
Are you sure about that? I have no idea.
even I'm not sure.
What is
Like
it?
you mentioned that apartments which are usually on the higher levels are cheaper comparatively. Something on that line. No?
Yes, they are a bit cheaper compared to like the ground floor or the yeah.
Oh. Speaking about me, I did not really have any content today to share. Like you all did pretty very well. And I like your introduction, the way you were standing to being practical, and the like you mentioned about population and all. But later, after even that thing was nice that you started only with saying that I have 3 points to share, but I think they weren't that strong. Like I don't know, I did not feel that. Triza, did you feel the same? But the introduction was very nice.
Mm, I found it okay, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another point, like I don't know, like in standalone houses, like children are more, they can move around more, and in like apartments, they are fixed to their television or like that could be a point, right?
Yes, yes.
The pet was
Okay.
actually a very valid point because I live in a flat and we earlier we used to have a pet, but now it's not really a possibility because the pets usually get annoyed and it's not really easy to maintain a pet in a apartment.
Apartment.
Yes.
I even like the point, that point which Ayush mentioned, like when you are moving from one place to another, like you don't really build a whole house. That I found it very nice.
Yes.
But if you had asked in the rebuttal phase, maybe we could have asked about PGs and some other things. But as a as a point, it was very nice. I liked it.
Mm.
Yeah, let's think from other perspective. Do you all have any feedbacks? Ayush, Riza?
Mm. Yeah, you mentioned like in when you started, Heman, you mentioned that you, as I
Mm-hmm.
might say that, like something related to gym. I
Ah,
don't think that's a good thing to say. Like in the at least in the start, you convey your points.
yeah.
Don't like
Even
say what other guy is going to say, and already like trying to review it at the start only.
yeah. Even I felt that like I should not have done that. But I was just trying to start with a like fiery like debate against each other. But yeah, that is a valid point. Like it is showing that I don't have any points, but I'm just trying to hypothetically go against you, something in that manner. Yeah, but valid. Let's think from other perspective. Riza, you want to say anything?
Okay. Let's.
I was just before going ahead. Why didn't you stick with something on environment? Like so many properties will be gone, so many places like we don't have that much land also, right? So many mountains will be cut to put standalone houses, but that is very if we have apartment, it will be better. Why didn't you say something in that manner?
I think it's actually the other way around, right? Because you
In that case, yeah,
Oh, is it? How?
yeah. Like you've seen more apartments coming up in rural areas, like which, like if a person has like a small house, that is also a standalone house now. But they have these big
Ah,
apartments which takes in more space than needed.
okay. For me, I was thinking like if every family, like if there is n family and every family has one house, then it will be more consuming land, right? Rather than one like some people stacking their house on another. I was thinking it in that perspective.
Also, when we speak about apartments now, the apartments are very different from what they look like before. Like the apartment is full, a whole, like I don't know, it's very big compared to like
Yeah,
nowadays. I feel I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Good. Do you need more time? Teresa, you need time?
We can start.
Mm. I'll go ahead.
Yes, can start.
Uh, One thing from our side, I think I had written this down, but I did not really say it about loading something. Like if you have to load and unload, it is much easier in the house. Not a very strong point, but a point which we could have said. And another point I think we should have said is about rooms in Airbnb. In a standalone house, we can just rent some rooms in some Airbnb and all. But I think apartment. Can you do it in the apartment,
No
Ayush?
idea.
If you own an apartment, you can do that. If you have, say, multiple apartments, then you can rent the other apartments, right?
No, I'm saying just one apartment. And can you rent one room of the apartment to somebody? Maybe I don't know. I think you can, right?
People do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So thinking from other perspective, one is about land and environment, which I said, but that was like you all said it is not that strong. Second is about shops and all. Like in the apartment, you have shops and like other hotels and all in the in the basement, in the ground floor. So you can just buy something whatever you want. Then you get CCTV security in the apartment. Some apartments have some guards kept. And one point I would say about is geolocating some parcels. Like it is easier to track which apartment. Like if I have address written, it is easier to find in the apartment than any remote places, like in a standalone house.
Okay,
Teresa?
to add to what Kevan said, apartments are better because they have many neighbors around who always look after you. Like they always know that you are there. Like whereas when you're in a standalone house, say you're like old and you're alone, sometimes there are cases where the person is found dead in the house and no one knew, uh, like for a long time. Also, in case of a theft, like if there's a robbery in the house, if it's a standalone house, there's more risk because the robber can just come in. But when you're in an apartment, the people can, like come together and do something about it, like at that given time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the safety was
Yes.
actually a very good point. Yeah. So
Yes.
from the standalone side, I don't know if this is relevant, but in case if you're living in a joint family, you can always keep the front door open, like at least the most of the time, which is not really a possibility in flats. uh, it's something I feel like a flat is like mostly a closed environment, and in case of a house or a standalone house, you can roam around freely. You can have multiple areas to sit. Your options are limited in a flat. Like maybe you could have only 2 or 3 rooms, but like in a joint family, you can have multiple rooms. You can like, go to your maybe like brother's room or spend some time with him. You're not limited to just your room, which after a long time can be a bit uh, I don't know how to put it. And in case of standalone houses, you know your neighbors most of the time very well, which is not always the case in like apartments because you have many neighbors. You cannot know everyone, and you can always go at their places like without any hesitation. Maybe.
Yeah. Anything to discuss? Do you have any? What do you like? Apartment or standalone house?
Standard.
Uh, I have lived in both. Like when I was young, I used to live in a we used to live in a joint family. So that time it was fun, but as I got older and like I still prefer if I had to choose, I will still prefer a joint family or a standalone house.
Standalone house. Okay. I think same. Yeah, standalone house is better than apartment. I feel. I haven't really lived a life in a apartment, but I would choose standalone. Yeah. ChatGPT phase. Do you have anything to discuss on this topic, or shall we go on ChatGPT?
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Hmm? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Triza.
Uh, One point I would like to say is like in apartments, they are constructed in areas that are more closer to the cities, schools, jobs are more accessible. So that is one point. So it's better for the people. Also, if you have a standalone house, it is seen as an investment and an asset as well, because standalone houses tend to the value of that land tends to increase over time.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are my points. Also, there are less conflicts in a standalone house because you don't have to deal with many people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ayush?
only one major point which I found was about the, as Fiza mentioned about the investment, but it's kind of from the both sides. I don't really know how to put it because you don't really buy a standalone house like for a investment purpose mostly. Maybe you mostly buy lands, not a house as such. And even for from apartments perspective, you usually maybe like buy an apartment and then rent it. Mm. And also like you can flip houses. Mm. Like from that's basically from the investment point of view, not really the other way.
Hmm. No, flip houses
Flip
meaning?
houses meaning like some people buy some old houses like which are abandoned or like nobody lives there
Uh,
and they like renovate it completely and then resell at a higher price.
oh. Uh-huh.
Also, sometimes apartments are in very like say an apartment is in Margam, the value of that apartment will be more as compared to an apartment in Kepe or like the
Yes.
that area.
Okay, one point I have is about the ancestral value the house holds, like old house. But we'd never say ancestral apartment and go at some apartment and stay. So something, something with that. And secondly, also I found about the land value, but Ayush gave a good perspective. And third thing is about rules and regulation. You don't have to follow any rules in the standalone house, but you have to follow some rules in apartment. Like if there's anything done in the apartment in the community, you have to follow it. That's it. But I got a good introduction today. I think like we had good points, but like our presentation was little weak. I felt, at least mine. Uh, but no, Triza and Ayush all did very good. But from my side, I found my presentation a little weaker. This is one introduction which I found very nice. Home is where the heart is. The age-old proverb reminds us that a house is not just a structure; it's a sanctuary, a reflection of our identity, and a space to grow and dream freely. A standalone house offers exactly that: independence, privacy, and the freedom to shape your environment as you see fit. So, a good introduction, I think, could be also like say something, say some factors in the introduction, and then say, "Arey, this is connecting to those factors," which is I found a very like it's smart to do that. Yeah, that's it. We'll see tomorrow. Triza, you are there tomorrow? You're not there
Yes,
tomorrow, right?
I'll be there.
You are
No,
there.
tomorrow I'm not there. Right, you're right. I'm not
Yes.
there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and day
So
after.
yes, yes. We'll have Monday.
Yes,
Okay, I and Ayush will have tomorrow.
yes, yes.
Okay, it was great debate on the topic standalone house versus apartment. And thank you for coming, Teresa and Ayush.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.